Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I am your boy, Tony, your couch scout extraordinaire, sitting here today with you with C. Dougie from What's Up, Doug? What's up? What's good, Doug?
What's going on? You ain't give me my title, the third fade in the stand this morning, man. I see, like I said, you off your rocker this morning. We don't got Uncle Ken Dog up here today, man. But yeah, what's going on, everybody?
Yeah,
Hope everybody having a good start of their weekend, chilling out, kicking your feet up, about to join some great Panther talk for a couple of hours here.
yeah. So what we're gonna do? We want to start off today with some breaking news that's not so much breaking news any longer. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. So we're going to talk about Derrick Brown signing his massive extension, 4 years, $96 million with 63.165 million guaranteed. Doug, what? How do you feel about this new signing?
Yes, sir, man. First, I appreciate James Allen Panther for subscribing to my big cousins over here at Two Fans in the Stands. Hit that like button. Also, share the live for them while we jump into this content. We just started, man. So I greatly appreciate you hitting that sub button for them. Dan Morgan, I mean, Dan Morgan possibly should have been a GM after Marty Herney got fired. I'm going to go way, 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 way.
Right.
Yes, we had Gettleman. Yes, you had Scott Fitterer. You did have Brandon Bean in the building. A lot of other GM possibilities, but Dan Morgan has put his stamp on the Carolina Panthers and not even in a full offseason yet. With this deal right here, it really showed that people can say we missed out on Brian Burns, but really and truly, if you look at it, Derrick Brown, since he's been a Panther, has been disruptive. He showed up at every game, and he's never taken a play off. Um, and that's the reason why he got this contract. It's no shade to Brian
Right.
Burns. Brian Burns will show up and then he'll disappear. Derrick Brown was a constant on this defensive line. And now, yes, you still do have Shaq Thompson here, but this is Derrick Brown's defense. He is the captain. I think Shaq Thompson's reign of being the longest tender Panther on the defensive side will be coming to an end here shortly. Not because of a cut, but I think it's just time that he knows it's time for him to go ahead and transition onto, in the sunset. But I love the signing. The money is great. He is a top 5 defensive tackle in money wise right now, and I do think in the league. And this does free up money for Carolina. Possibly, there is still questions about Gilly coming in that does open more money up for us for our draft picks. But standing ovation, standing on all 10 toes for Dan Morgan. Love the offseason acquisitions that he's brought in and definitely standing on business, making sure that we keep Derrick Brown and we don't have to go into the offseason or go into another fiasco that we did with Brian Burns.
Yeah, I agree with all that you said, and I love the move. This is something that me and CJ, and we have been talking about for the past 2 years. That we was wondering when they were going to, if they were going to sign Derrick Brown to the extension, and if so, when it was going to get done. We didn't want to see another fiasco like the situation with Brian Burns. But
Mhm.
like I try to tell people like this is a different regime, and I know we are jaded a little bit because of what we've been through in the past. With Marty Herney and Scott Fitterer. When you're talking about Matt Rule and Frank Reich, these are some. This is a new regime, and when Dan Morgan was hired, the first thing I immediately said was, here is somebody that's going to look at the game and view the game through the lens of a player, because he is a former player. He played at a high level in Carolina at the University of Miami. So when he said he's looking for dogs, he knows exactly what a dog looks like. Okay. So in my mind, when you talk about Derrick Brown, there's no doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, that's exactly what you're getting. You're getting someone that loves ball, and you can see it in his play. When you talk about somebody 320, 330 pounds, moving like he's like he moves, that's crazy. I mean, his hustle.
It's a motor. It's a motor that does not go out.
a motor that doesn't stop, and that's what a football player is looking for in another football player. That makes sense. So I'm not surprised. I'm glad to see that Morgan and Brett Tillis and these guys are righting the wrong. Steering the ship or getting it steered in the right direction and saying this is what we're going to do. When you show your value, when you put forth the effort to show that you have earned everything that you are asking for, everything that you desire, they don't have no problem getting it to you. You know what I'm saying? Giving it to you. So I love it. It's a great signing, man. I'm glad to know that he's going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years. I definitely want to know more about the contract situation, how it breaks down.
Oh, I
But
got the breakdown. I think I got the breakdown for you.
yeah, well, as far as how it affects us cap wise right now, I'm not 110% sure on that, but you know, I know the cap figure that we have right now is kind of low. You know
Eight,
what I'm saying? But
around eight.
go ahead.
Um, Real quick. So Derrick Brown's landed a 4-year contract, 96 mil with 41.165 million fully guaranteed at the signing. The money for 2026 is 13 million vested in 2025. Good cash flow. He gets 49 million over the first 2 years of his deal and 72
Okay.
million over the first three.
That's what I was thinking. So it's really a 3-year deal,
Mm-hmm.
basically, because the last 2 years is voided, and that's for
Correct.
cap purposes. So it within the next 3 years, you can expect for his contract to be up again. And for him, that's good. 'Cause I think he's only 27. So when it's time for him to renegotiate for another contract, he'll be right at 30. Hopefully, still playing good, still in his prime. So man, yeah, I love this. I love it. I'm glad that it happened. I know Panther Nation is glad that it happened. Watching Christian McCaffrey walk out the door, watch DJ Moore walk out the door, and now with Brian Burns walking out the door, we needed something that we can hang our hat on, not only for the fans but also for players in the locker room because it shows those guys if you work hard and do what you're supposed to, and show up when you're supposed to, and be available when we need you, we'll be willing to pay you. So hopefully that this signing reverberates throughout the locker room and it sets a different standard going forward on how guys feel about the organization and possibly coming in and playing for the Panthers, man. So I definitely love the signing. I have no qualms about it at all. There was a few people that was thinking there was a possibility that we should trade them, maybe get some draft capital. But my thing is, if you wanted to sign Brian Burns, why wouldn't you want to keep Derrick Brown?
Correct.
Now that Brian Burns is gone, you got to have a cornerstone somewhere. We know Bryce Young is the cornerstone on offense. So what was your cornerstone going to be on defense?
Now you have it.
So now we have the answer to that question with Derrick Brown. So again, man, I'm completely happy about that. So let me read some of these chats.
Go ahead.
Rock Jones said first, like on the ball, hit that funky beat, cousins. All right, Rock. All right. CC, okay. The CJ said, "What up, Rock?" All right, let's see what we got here. Hope all is well, fellas. Rock Jones, Mr. Honky Dory. What was that? T. What was tea time?
Bell, a T, and a bell, and no bell.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Honky Dory. Don't quite know what that is, but welcome, my boy. Let's see, James Allen Panther. What up, y'all? Just subbed up. We appreciate it, James. We appreciate that sub, man. Make sure you turn that post notification bell so you be made aware whenever we go live and drop new content. Let's see. Digger says shaking the tree, fellas. Hey, you forgot to get the honey though. You shaking the tree, Digger, but ain't no honey dropping. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what we got here. Pyro Master 154. I'm not gonna touch on that, the name. Dan putting in the work we need to see already. That's
Right.
facts. Let's see. D Cash, what's good? What's good, D Cash? What's going on, my guy? Just Zoe said, "What's up, fellas? Love the moves Dan has made since taking over as GM." I concur, Zoe. We definitely love the moves that he has made so far. Um, what's going to be more important to that is the move that he make come draft day. You know what I'm saying? April 25th through 27th. That is going to tell a lot as well as far as what direction that we're headed in. So I think it's imperative that he hit on this draft as well. What you think, Doug?
Yeah, that's the next step. Definitely the next step that we got to talk about. I'm gonna let you read a couple more chats because I just want to make two more points about Derrick Brown. Then we get in our next topic. So
Okay.
let the people know that
All
we
right, let me do that.
pulling up.
Just Zoe said Brent Tillers was a great front office hire for us too. Absolutely.
Facts.
Absolutely. I don't know how that came about. I don't know how we stole him from Kansas City, but hey, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. DCAT said they said they gave us around 11 million in cap space. Well, yeah, that's possible because when you add that extension, you have to add in the last year of his rookie deal to that extension. So it's going to spread out that cap hit
Mhm.
over those three years of the new contract and the last year of this rookie deal, if I'm not mistaken. I think I said that correctly. If not, chat, y'all can correct me on that. Let's see, Mr. Hungador said James Allen, Ellis Creek Fish Camp, good stuff. All right. Let me find out, Mr. Hungador, you be down there in Geecheville.
Yeah.
What's up, Doug? Smash that like button and share the live. Absolutely. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Subscribe, turn those post notification bells so you know when we go live and drop new content. And if you support the channel, you like the channel and the work that we do, hit us on our Cash App at Two Fans ITS. And if you are more inclined, purchase a super chat and a super sticker. I think I said that right.
Correct. You said it
All
right.
right. So Antonio McClendon said, "What's up, guys? What's up, Antonio? Ain't seen you in a minute." Pyro said, "Till is out here using dark magic on these contracts." Facts. Facts. Said Rock Jones said Morgan just needs to hit on his picks in the draft, then he'll be the real deal. I agree. I think hit the he's kind of solidifying the direction that he wants to go in now. I think you kind of get a picture of the type of guys that he wants to bring in, what type of football team or what kind of roster building that he's more inclined to do. So once you get all the pieces to the puzzle, so now only thing that you want to do is see the product on the field and see it come all together. Yeah. Antonio McClendon said Big St. Bernard. All right. Mr. Hungador said there are no complaints from fans or the media, all positive about the new DB contract.
Correct.
I agree. That's correct. That's correct. Marco Cash, what up, Panther Nation? What up, Marco? What's good with you?
We got a super chat too, Tony. I don't know if you see it.
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
I'll get there in a minute. So hope 1 year is cap friendly. All right. Mr. Hungador said LOL CJ spying in the chat. Hit the like button, CJ. Get him, Mr. Hungador. You know he around here lurking. CJ said already done. Let's see. Miss Hungador said he just woke up 11:45 a.m. Let's see. QJ Smith, can we still restructure Moten? Yes, we can. They haven't done it yet, but that is still a strong possibility because I think he carries the biggest restructuring deal at the moment. I think once he's restructured, it clears up like 6.5 million.
Yeah, it opens
So,
up.
so I believe that's in their bag if they need it.
But you remember what's his name? Dan Morgan said all restructures aren't good restructures. So they're not going to restructure just to free up money, then have dead money or have a contract just to open
That's
it up.
true.
So
Because if I'm not mistaken, we already done restructured Taylor Moton like once or twice, correct?
correct twice already.
Yeah, so I don't know how many more times you want to kick that can down the road.
Correct.
So yeah. Tip drill Will. Appreciate you, my guy, with the super chat. Will said, thanks for my Saturday afternoon Panther news and entertainment. Y'all dope. Hey, Will, we appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Let me go back to I skipped one. Pyro Master. So I feel attacked. What's wrong with my name? I'm gonna leave that one alone. Hey, just Pyro. You keep everything else, but that Pyro. You know, I got a whole conversation for that one. Let's see who this right here. Chauncey Ellaby, J.C. Horn will be traded before or during the draft if Carolina will be adding Gilmore because they want Gabe Jackson starting. Also, Troy Hill starting the slot corner. That's a big possibility, I guess, Chauncey. I
Whoa,
haven't
whoa,
heard any
whoa, whoa.
rumblings about that or anything of that nature. But I don't think it. I don't. Me personally, I don't think it would happen. But hey, like they say, anything is possible.
I think
Anything
anything
is
is
possible.
possible. I don't think that's going to happen because again, why would you trade him away? And they've said that he's been the healthiest since he's been on this team. Again, when he is on the field, he is a top 5 corner. We've seen it. So why would you trade away where you're an asset that you still are getting for the cheap right now? And the whole thing with Gabe Jackson has been a CB2 up in Buffalo, but that is a depth piece as well too. Because again, if you look at it, his contract is only for 1 year, but with it being 1 year, it is incentive based. It's not starter based, or it's not like, hey, you have to start. It's based off of interceptions, us making the playoffs, and I think it's interceptions, playoffs, and there's one more incentive on his contract. So his contract is not really based off of him starting; it's based off of performance. So, like I said,
Right.
that. I mean, that could be an opinion, and your opinion could be right, but I just don't think that's going to happen with J.C. Horn. Not this particular year.
Okay. James Allen Panther said Tepper love him or hate him, but he will throw that bag to get the right people. Think he got finesse last year. And that's always a possibility. But one thing about it, he is not afraid to spend money to get the people that he feel he needs in the front office and in the coaching, in the coaching part of the room. So we'll see how it all plays out. Right. CJ said tip drill will. I don't know what you're laughing about. Just Zoe, why in the hell will we trade JC Horn? What is wrong with
Thank
our
you.
fan base?
Thank you.
Hey, just Zoe, but hey, I feel you, but everybody has an opinion. Everybody feel the way they feel. Uh, I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. I mean, to be honest, JC Horn hasn't been that healthy since he's been in Carolina. I think he has missed a total of almost almost a season and a half, of game time just so far on his rookie deal. So, hey, anything is possible. Anything is possible, but I definitely don't want to. I don't want to get rid of JC, but again, in the NFL, your best ability is availability. So if you are injured more than you are available, then at some point in time, somebody's gonna have to make a decision about you. All right. So let's see. Black Frost said, even it hurts, CJ Horn is better than any QB we have on the roster right now. Yeah, and that says a lot. That says a lot. Yeah, I don't think so. That was CJ. Diggs said kind of difficult to have trust in the player that's been out more than he has been than he has been, talented or not. That's true. I have to agree with you on that, Diggs. All right, Chauncey Elevator. So what would Carolina do with Horn 50 fellas? Absolutely have no idea right now. I'm
They don't have
guessing
to
that
make a
would be
decision
the
till June.
next.
They don't have to make a decision till June.
Yeah. So I guess that would be the next big chess piece that Carolina will make. They'll have to make a decision on. I'm curious, just like anybody else, to see what happens with that. But I think in my opinion, I would think you would have to prove that you earned that extension before they give him that extension. That's what I would say. All right. Laughing at you not being able to say pyro. Come on, dog. CJ clowning. Who can't say pyro? If you know what a pyro pot is, then you'll know why I started laughing. Another thing, we can't keep getting rid of players without a quality replacement. That's true. All right. So let me go back here.
Hey,
Okay, what was
Tony, real quick, I
what?
would say we haven't really seen and this is the last point I was going to make about Derrick Brown. We really have not seen the best of Derrick Brown. And what I mean by that is Derrick Brown has not had a true running mate to play alongside of him. And if people really look at those 100 tackles, it's no knock against him. That is a great achievement by a D tackle. But when the team is trying to run the ball down your throat and your D tackle / nose tackle is there and being that gap stopper, that's the reason why that's a great achievement for him to have 103 tackles last year. But when we look at it, KK Short had star, and what has Derrick Brown really had to go alongside of him all these years? And again, for him to do this by himself with the depleted offensive line, and supposedly he was supposed to have a running mate in Brian Burns on the outside, it really didn't help because, again, DB was a wrecking crew by itself. One play in particular I remember is when we played the New Orleans Saints, when he slung Kamara. I think they were driving in, and when I say he slung him, I was at that. I mean, he literally slung him, and his strength is unmatchable. So
Yeah,
I think with him having a Shot Robinson, or if we draft another D tackle, or just the acquisitions that we put on that D line, like you say, Tony, the number one thing that we love is what? The trenches. If you can build to your
right.
trenches and he gets a correct running mate to go along with him, DB is going to be nastier than what we've already seen right now, and that's what that scares me. When he hasn't really hit into his bag yet. So again, he deserves his contract with the numbers he's put out. But just imagine if he gets a proper running mate to go alongside of him.
Well, it's that's the same thing what I said about him when he came out of Auburn. He
Mm-hmm.
had Big Cat Bryant as his running mate on that defensive
Mm-hmm.
line in Auburn. And
Mm-hmm.
when he had a guy, a solid running mate, Derrick Brown ate
And he
his
was getting
sophomore
sacked.
and his
He,
junior
he,
year.
he just wasn't getting tackles. He was getting sacks as along with that.
Yeah, but I mean, now he wasn't no sack artist. Like he
He
wasn't
wasn't
getting
no
like 10
correct.
sacks a season. But yeah, he was able to penetrate, be disruptive, get after the quarterback. He definitely had a lot of tackle for losses. He did have a few sacks. If I'm not mistaken, I think he had like 5 or 6 sacks his last year at
His last year he
Auburn.
was 5.5. Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, but when Derrick Brown came into the league, and this is why I try to tell people or help people remember, he didn't come into the league with the reputation of being a sack artist. No defensive tackle comes into the league really being a sack artist. He came into the league being a disruptive two gap penetrator and someone that had a high motor and would chase you up and down the field no matter what. And that's what he did. Now Matt ruled them guys, they kind of messed him up. They had him drop weight, then add weight, then they wanted to play him in nose guard and play him in the one technique a lot. You saw not only last year but the year before when he started playing more than three technique, you start seeing more of Derrick Brown getting back to his old self. And last year, in my opinion, just knocked the roof off the ceiling. That 103 tackles. Come on, dog. Then you don't do that from the defensive tackle position.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You don't.
103 tackles. I can't remember how. I think like 4 pass defended, interception. I mean, he was filling the stat sheet across the board, man.
Correct.
In my opinion, that's what you want because, like I always said, on the defense side of the ball in the trenches, the quickest way to get to the quarterback is through that interior
Middle.
defensive line.
In the
So
middle.
you get him a running mate. Hope Ashawn Robinson can be that guy. Okay, definitely hope Ashawn Robinson can be that guy. And yeah, we'll go from there. So let me just read this one. Read the money real quick.
Go ahead.
Tip drill Will again with the $5 super chat, and we appreciate it. Will said, I think this Brown extension can open us up for a franchise changing trade during draft night. For example, pick 65 for IU or Higgins. We have the money now.
What did I tell you yesterday, Tony? What did I say yesterday?
Yeah. You called me. You was like, yeah,
I said this
yeah.
yesterday.
Hey,
I'm telling you, I just got a feeling that 39 about to be up for grabs. It just depends on how of what, or is it logical? But I think Pitt 39 is going to be up for grabs. That 33, I don't quite know yet because I think some players going to fall, but it's getting real interesting right now. I told you something's brewing up there in Charlotte.
and like I said to you yesterday, my only thing about that is I think I would be more on board with that if we didn't trade for Deontay Johnson.
You
And I
did.
know he has 1 year left on this current contract. De-
That's me. My
what
bad.
is that?
FaceTime.
Deontay Johnson basically on a 1 year, $10 million contract, but you brought him in to be your number one wide receiver, right? So the thing, in my opinion, Brandon Ayuk and T Higgins are both looking for the opportunity to be a number one wide receiver. They want to get paid like a potential number one wide receiver. Neither one of the wide receivers are going to come in this year for $10 million or less. So think about what kind of disruption that may cause in the locker room. If you trade for either one of those guys and you give one of them 20 million, and now you got Deontay Johnson looking at him like, I'm your number one guy, but this guy got 20 million, I got 10. I'm
You
not saying that's how it's gonna go,
know, that
but I'm
attitude
just
that he
saying,
got.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, you got a guy making 20 million, 25 million, I'm making 10, but he's probably gonna put up more production or be considered the number one wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Over those two. I just think there's just I think there's that will cause a lot of confusion in the locker room.
And I,
I
and
mean
I, and,
personally,
and
I think
I
yeah,
understand where you're coming from with that because I agree. Because if you look at it from that point, is it really is it another distraction for Deontay Johnson to get with a new team and make the money that he wants to make off after this 1 year deal with us? If, for example, I'll give you this: Stephon Diggs just got his last 3 years voided by the Houston Texans. They only got him on a 1 year rental as well.
right,
So
right.
I kind of get where you're getting with that, but again, we don't know. But that is a possibility because again, why would you void a um a player like Diggs like that? You void his last 3 years and you only get him on a 1 year rental because let's just say he does produce, he don't probably want to be in Houston. As much as we know, I see the chat. I already know what you smelling at. And if we really think about it, he may want to be at in Dallas with his brother. So, like I said, it just depends. Yeah, I seen him. I seen him and
And
Miss
man,
Uncle Dory talking about the birds are playing on the piano. Hey,
oh
like I said, somebody was trying to FaceTime me and Tony know what
eh,
that noise was.
yeah, man. Hey, that's crazy. But listen, I'm gonna read a couple more of these chats, and then we're gonna get on to the second topic because I see we got quite a few more people in here. And
Okay.
again, do me a favor. If you this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn the post notification bell so you'll be alerted whenever we go live or drop new content. We'll greatly appreciate your support.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna go back up here. Where was I? Oh, yeah, Marco was next. Yeah, Marco Cassie. I thought Gabe Jackson was the lineman from last year, and
Yes,
the
Dan
cornerback was
Jackson.
Dane Jackson.
It's Dan Jackson. Did
Yeah,
somebody say Gabe? Did I say Gabe? Because
you probably did.
I'm about to say I know who we're talking about. I know.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Gabe Jackson is the lineman that's still an unrestricted free agent right now. I don't think nobody picked him up. Yeah, Dane Jackson is the cornerback that came from Buffalo. All right. Just Zoe say we should pick up the fifth year option. Seems like a no brainer to me. When he's healthy, he's a
How about
top
you?
10 corner.
Yes, sir.
I agree 110%. But that's the point though, when he's healthy. And you need him to be healthy more times than not. That's my only thing. That's my only thing. I don't care what player it is, because you know at the end of the day, they're gonna want, because the market dictates, they're gonna want top notch money. But your availability hasn't matched the money that you're asking for. That's my only thing. And they have to be mindful of that when they go, extend these players and give them these big contracts. CJ says, Chance, I think they will pick up his fifth year option. They probably will. They probably will. Power says, LOL, look, I get backup from CJ. He can't help you. He can't help you because he don't even know what a pyro is. Trust me. See, Dick said cornerback is important in the up and coming draft. Yes, it is. It was important last year, Diggy, when till they decided to trade up for DJ Johnson. But I digress. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent on that one. See, Power Match, I think DB takes off this year and goes crazy. Hell, he took off last year and went crazy, Pyro. Yeah, he took off last year and went crazy. See, so our secondary room is definitely a concern. I'd love for Nate Wiggins or Kool-Aid to slip to us at 33. That would be nice. That would definitely be nice. I don't see Nate Wiggins falling. There may be a possibility that Kool-Aid McKinstry could fall to us at 33. Like I said, this guy had a Jones fracture in his foot at his pro day and still ran a 4.47 40 at his pro day. And he did all the drills. So I don't know how significant that Jones fracture is in his foot, but for the fact that he was able to get out there on his pro day and produce says a lot about his mental toughness, and he's willing to fight through injury. So I like that. I like that dog in him. So Black Fire said DB and Frisk will be fired. Absolutely. Yes, they will. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Braden Fisk and DB will feed families for generations. I agree with you, Pyro. Hey, that will be a disruptive front, a defensive front. Because even if you start Ashawn Robinson alongside Derrick Brown, you got to have a good quality sub to come in, whether it's coming in for Derrick Brown or whether he's coming in for Ashawn Robinson, and you don't want to see the production level drop off. So if you can keep that same production level and still sub guys in and out, that would be a good thing to have. I would love to see it. Candy Girl 803. I think this is the first time I've seen her
No, no,
in
Candy
the
Girl been
chat
over here
here.
a couple of times. Don't do Candy
In
Girl like
here?
that. Candy Girl support
Hey,
everybody. She support
hey,
everybody.
hey. Typically I'm on the upper side with you and CJ is reading this, so
Oh,
I don't
I'm about to
know, I
say
don't
Candy Girl
remember. So
is one of the Panther supporters that supports everybody. So I appreciate her pulling up and showing support to two fans in the stands this morning.
yeah, no doubt. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you, Candy Girl, for showing your love and support to two fans in the stands. We're glad that you are here. All right. So Digger said cornerback Elijah Jones is a late round sleeper. I don't know who that is. You know who Elijah Jones is? Doug?
It ain't gonna take me long. You know we got PFF. I'm about to look them up right now. Go ahead.
All right. Said D Nice said DT gets 100 tackles when the defense sacks. Like you said, it's still a feat.
He Elijah
Yeah.
Jones is out of Boston College, 6'2", 184. Right. He's in that
Okay.
range of Cam Hart. You know how I feel about Cam Hart and then Cameo Hayden out of Tennessee. So he's in that type of range.
Okay. All right. Chauncey Ellaby said, I definitely want Horn here. Don't get me wrong, but Horn name was mentioned in Hassan trade. at the same time as Gilmore to Carolina rumor, and I did hear that Gabe Jackson supposed to start. Well,
He keeps
honestly,
saying Gabe.
the,
You mean Dan Jackson? He keeps saying Gabe. He
yeah,
meant Dan. He meant Dan Jackson.
Dane, not Dan,
Dane
Dane Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah, but right now, as as the projection goes, Dane Jackson would be the starting corner opposite of J.C. Horn, and you have Troy Hill in the slot.
Mm,
And to back those guys up, you have DiCaprio Boodle and Deshaun Jameson.
yep.
Yeah, so as it stands right now, like you said, if we hit on one of these corners in the draft or we pick up somebody else in free agency, we never know. But as the roster stands right now, that's your current projected lineup.
Hey, I will say this real quick. TJ Tampa's my favorite, and I know Tony's bid on Kyrie Jackson out of Oregon. If either one of those two come in, Dan Jackson will not be the starting corner. I'm just letting you know right now.
You don't
He
think so?
no. Now let's be real,
They
Tony.
they, they got they got
Tony,
to get
let's be real
acclimated.
now.
I'm just saying they got to get acclimated to the league, though.
Tony,
They got to
Tony,
get acclimated to the
if
league.
TJ Tampa, and I mean TJ Tampa's gonna have to be either that 33rd or 39th pick, he's coming in to start. Now you know
Okay.
that. Now you know how we said Kyrie Jackson. If he's at 65, it just depends. But I'm thinking 33, 39 to 65, and maybe that 101. Three out of those four got to come in and start. Again, they cannot be sitting behind. They can't be another DJ Johnson type of draft pick where they're a project. They have to come in and produce from the jump. That's the reason why I'm saying if Kyrie Jackson or TJ Tampa are there, they're gonna come in and start.
Okay. All right. Let's see, I'm gonna read a couple more. Marco Cash said, I
What's
don't
up?
care where the Panthers with the 33rd pick, honestly, but number 39 has to be Zach Frazier or pick 65 has to be Cedric Van Pran. Relying on Corbett at center is foolish. I absolutely 1000% agree with you, Marco. I can't stress that point enough. If you have been on any of the lives in the past few weeks and have listened to anything I've said, I've s- I've been beating the table for a center. I don't care if it's at 33 or 39, but we have to get a center because just like you said, Marco, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Talking about Austin Corbett, someone that hasn't played the center position since the preseason in Cleveland, and he's coming off two major knee injuries, a torn ACL and then a sprained MCL. So you don't really know what his condition or what it's going to be when the season starts. And if something were to happen, God forbid that it don't, but if something was to happen, who's the backup center? Okay. And also, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last year of Austin Corbett deal. I think when he initially signed with Carolina, it was like 3 years, $27 million.
Mm,
Okay. So this would be year three. So you have to not only look for right now, as a backup, but prepare for the future when Austin Corbett is no longer here. So yeah, I definitely feel like we need a good backup center, and what better way than to draft one? I love Zach Frazier. I did a thing on Twix the other day about him. Four-time state wrestling champion, 3 year starter at West Virginia. Have played almost 2,600 snaps and have given up a total of 4 sacks in 3 years. So I don't know if that don't say a future All Pro. I don't know what else does. D Nice 2G say Marcus, that's facts. He also said Marcos. Okay. JSN 23NC said disagree Deontay Johnson on a 1 year deal. Yeah, I think we said that Deontay Johnson is on the 1 year deal, $10 million. We're gonna talk more about Deontay Johnson here in a moment. Say Black Fire said I'd rather trade for a playmaker after the trade. Okay. Zaire Kiefer said, love this channel. I like T. Higgins. That will give us a cornerstone wide receiver. Hey, Zaire, appreciate you, man. Hey, we're glad that you love the channel. Just make sure that you subscribe and turn that post notification bell so when we go live, you always be alerted. Um, as far as a cornerstone wide receiver, I mean T. Higgins and Deontay Johnson are pretty much neck and neck. I think one came out in 2019, the other one came out in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I know Deontay Johnson came out in 2019. I can't remember if T. Higgins came out 2019 or 2020. So there's only like a year separation. So, like I mentioned before, with Deontay Johnson right now coming in with the mindset that he's going to be the number one wide receiver, what kind of friction would that cause between him and T. Higgins or Brandon Ayuk when either one of those guys that we currently know is looking to be a number one wide receiver somewhere else than their current team. So I don't know exactly how that dynamic will work, but hey, if somehow we could make it work, I wouldn't be mad at it. I
Correct.
wouldn't be mad at it. Yeah. See, Charlotte's movie file. Everyone keeps comparing DB to sack defensive tackles, but he's a run stuffer, double team space eater type. Not all DTs have the same assignments. That's facts. That's facts, Charlotte. Mr. Hunkador said, Tony Doug, how is our depth chart looking now? I think our depth chart is looking pretty decent. Of course, we had so many holes on our roster. Of course, we've seen a lot of talent leave. We're bringing in a lot of new talent. I think we still need upgrades at corner. I still believe the linebacker room can use some upgrade, add some more depth. Excuse me. The defensive line, you can never have enough defensive tackles. Defensive ends, I'm really up in air on that because I really just don't know what their plan going forward now that we have DJ Warnham and Jadeveon Clowney. So I don't think that is as pressing of a need as we may think. I don't think they're going to use pick 33 or 39 on a defensive end. Now that's just my opinion because I think they solved that in free agency when you brought in Davion Clowney and DJ Warnham. And in my opinion, I think that gives them an opportunity to groom DJ Johnson, Amari Barno, and those guys behind them. So I think anything probably bring in some more depth pieces to um to put behind the starters.
Well,
Uh,
can I
Go
make that
ahead, go ahead. Doug.
real quick? So, like the names you're gonna think is possibly like a DJ, I mean a Darius Robinson, a Chop Robinson. So then when you do that, if you're talking at 33, 39th, now you're looking at a Booker out of Kansas, and you're looking at Neyland out of Western Michigan. So there's options that are not at the top of the board, but it really just depends on. Again, one thing that I want Panther Nation to do is look at your top 30 visits. With your top 30 visits, that will really let you know exactly who's coming in, who we're looking at, and etc. So, I mean, I know people are high on Darius and Chop, but they haven't got a visit or a discussion yet. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like I said, all of these are possibilities. Never know how it's going to play out, but it's options. There are options. All right. Charlotte's movie file said he's never been a pass rushing type. That's facts. DB never came into the league as a pass rushing sack artist type. He was always a disruptor. Controlled two gaps. Run stuffer. That was his thing. And I think when Matt ruled him, they tried to make him into something that he's not. And that's where me and CJ kind of coined the phrase. We call him that dump truck. You don't see no dump truck going side to side. He go front and back. You know what I'm saying? Now something he's going front. He's going forward. I'm sorry. So when you give him the opportunity to do that, especially 1-on-1, so when you moving him from that one gap to that three gap, and you give him 1-on-1 opportunities with that guard or that tackle, we see what he can do in that, and that's what happened last year. So definitely happy with that. What's up, CJ? What's good with you?
What's good, Panther Nation? How y'all doing out there? I figured I'd pop
What's
in for a few minutes because
yes, sir.
we're supposed to be going to the beach, but the beach is cold as hell right now. So we had to pause on that. It's damn 58 damn degrees down here. And I'm not taking my black ass to the beach. What's good, y'all?
Already,
Nothing much, man.
man.
Nothing much, man. Hey, look, CJ, you gonna get me. You looking like
Go
that
ahead.
early morning rooster with that
Hey,
hair, with that hair.
hey,
Hey,
call it what you want, dog. Call it what you want. Hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Cuz, cuz on vacation, he chilling. He
hey,
chilling.
hey, that
He
vacation
Pretty,
don't care
pretty
much
much.
already.
about that.
Yeah, it's like I say, I'm straight chilling,
Hey,
straight
that's the
chilling.
best way.
Already,
Yes,
already.
sir.
So, hey, CJ, now that you here, real quick, tell us how you feel about the Derrick Brown massive extension that he just signed.
Man, hey, let me tell you. Now that reel that I made a while back, because I saw you reposted it on Twitch. Because I was like,
Yeah,
hear me, Panthers. I was like, pay Derrick Brown, and I'm glad they did it because there was a lot of speculation about, oh, well, we're going to do the same thing again last year. Now that we're not going to extend Derrick Brown, it's going to be Brian Burns all over again. And I done seen people talking about other teams are trading for him and how we supposed to get 2 first-round picks. And I mean this, that, the third, whatever. I'm just happy it's done. I'm
yeah,
happy it's done. But what I really want to see is what the breakdown is as far as the cap goes. Okay, because I put in the comments earlier, I said I hope that the first year is cap friendly. Kind of like
right.
my man Hunt. I forgot the man first, Robin Hunt, with offensive lineman. So you know how his
Hmm.
first year is only $6 million cap hit. But then I heard Doug was saying that he's going to get what 72 million in the first 3 years of his deal.
Correct.
3 years.
So
That
I'm
came
wondering,
from Michael K. Michael K.
yeah,
reported that.
I wonder how much of that is going to be like a signing bonus or whatever. Because we still got to get enough cap room to sign all our draft picks. So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think it may be a day or two before all that comes out, but I'm pretty sure that I'm willing to bet that the way that the deal was structured was to give the Panthers cap space. It was it was to give the Panthers
uh,
cap space in year one.
hey, I'll take it. That man just won
Oh
three
God.
Grammys.
That's what I'm about to write. Look, I'm writing that
I'll
right
take
now in the
Hey,
chat. That's
hey,
exactly what I'm
though.
writing in the
He
chat
did.
right now.
He did though. He did win 3
Bruh,
Grammys. Yes, he
hey,
did.
I'll take
Yes, he did. All
it.
right. So, fellas, we're gonna hop into the second um topic of the day, and this is a topic that has made a great contention within Panther Nation because everybody seems to, with 85% of the people in the comments that I see and the conversations that I hear about, is that we need a wide receiver so bad. Pick
All right.
33 or pick 39 should be a wide receiver. Some people feel like we may even need to double dip at wide receiver. Um, so I want to know from you guys, do y'all think we need to double dip at wide receiver? Do you think we need to take one early on, or do you think we need to take one in the middle of the draft? Or currently what we have on the roster right now, do you think those wide receivers are good enough to be wide receiver 1, 2, and 3? So we're gonna go into the so my idea who I think would be the first three main wide receivers for the Panthers this year is Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and Jonathan Mingo. So we're going to look at each one of those,
Do
and
you
then
want
we're
to go
going to
first?
look at.
Go ahead, tell me my
Say
bad.
what?
I was gonna say, do you want us to give our top three before we go into the slides? Because the only thing I'll switch is I'll put Adam Thielen first because the camaraderie he has with Bryce, then Deontay, then Mingo. But by the season, I think that 1 and 2 will flip. That's all I was gonna say. I think that 1 and 2 will flip. But right now, I think Adam Thielen will still be number one because you know the connection that he's had with Bryce. But throughout the season, I do think that's going to change and then Deontay Johnson would be one. Then I'm hoping Mingo can surpass Adam Thielen, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I mean, the list is still top 3 regardless of how you line them up.
Mm. All right. So let's get into the slides real quick. All right. So first up, I got Deontay Johnson, and these were his measurements at the combine: 5'10", 183. 2019 third round pick number 2 out of the University of Toledo. His 2023 stats: 51 receptions, 717 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 14.1 yard per catch average. His pros to me is his route running and his footwork, and his cons is his focus drops and attitude. Now, before I even get started on the reason why I put attitude, because it has been publicly known that the past year or two that his attitude was a lot to not desired, but was what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't good. I just say that it just wasn't good.
Left a
Um,
lot to be desired.
it, yeah, left a lot to be desired. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate it. Yeah, left a lot to be desired. So y'all tell me, fellas, what y'all think about Deontay Johnson? Go
CJ, you
ahead,
want to go
Doug.
first?
Yeah, hey, I was gonna
Well,
say
no,
real
Doug.
quick. I don't.
You want me to go first, Tony?
Go ahead, CJ. No, go ahead, CJ, because Doug, you just gave a dissertation. Go ahead, CJ.
Oh, hey, Doug. First of all, okay, you are a third fan in the stand. All right, let me make sure I get my hand. Third fan in the stand. Don't let this joker right here start trying to bully you now. All right.
Look.
Hey man, can we get on? Can we get on with the presentation, please?
Look,
Hey,
look, he the
look.
lead head, he the lead honcho today, so he trying to put you in your place
No,
today.
no, hey, no. I'm here now.
I'm
Okay,
I'm your
I am here
captain
now.
now.
Hold on,
I am your
wait.
captain now.
I am here now. I am here now. I run this player.
He didn't
What
switch.
take it over
He,
then?
he didn't. He
Take
didn't.
it over then.
Hey, look, real quick. All I wanted to say is I don't give a damn about what attitude he had up in Pittsburgh. You
Mhm.
know, like I
Right,
always preach. Like I always preach. A change of scenery, a new place, new coaching staff, new teammates, you know, a new outlook on his career. Maybe that'll do him good. Okay. And
fact.
Dave Canales seems like he's the type of coach where he's going to sit him down. He's going to have a talk with him and say, hey, let's talk about everything that we've been hearing. Let's talk about everything that happened. That's what's true, what's not true. What do you need from me? Okay. What do you need from
Right,
me? What do you need from us as an organization? I think Deontay Johnson would be just fine. Okay. We always talked about a receiver for Bryce Young who with the route tree, you know, can do the whole route tree. Separation.
right,
This is Deontay Johnson. Okay. He's not a particular burner, you know, but I think he has decent speed. But you pair him, Adam Thielen, okay, Mingo and Doug, I'm glad you said that about our 3 because I think it's going to be Johnson, Thielen, and whoever we get in the draft. You know, come maybe
mm,
start of the season. You know, maybe quarter way through the year. I think it's going to shake up like that. But you know, I think the receiver room is rounding out, and you know whoever we draft. But I think Dante Johnson would be just fine. I think he would be just fine. I think what he brings to the table will be a big improvement for Bryce Young. And like I also keep saying, the scheme, okay, the scheme last year versus the scheme this year. I think that will definitely provide dividends for the Panthers. But go ahead, Doug.
You wait on me, Tony. I
go
mean,
ahead, Doug.
okay. It's not a problem when you have Kenny Pickett, and I know my other 2 Tar Heels are going to be like, "Duh, we don't trash Tar Heels, but we speak the truth." And you got Mitchell Trubisky as being your quarterback. How worse can it get? How worse can it really get? And I know a lot of people are worried that Bryce, you know, could be in that particular category, but I definitely don't think it is. What he says, Tony just simply trying to say you in the draft.
MDJ trying to start shit. That is not what I said. I was not trying
Look, they
to
on you.
allude to
They on you.
that.
They are on you, Tony, because
I
you
was
want to
not
start shit.
alluding to that. I don't appreciate MDJ trying to start trouble. That's not what I was going. That's not what I was trying to say, sir. Go ahead, man.
Nah, I was just say, I just think when you have a separation god and a type of receiver like that, that can only help. One thing that Carolina Panther fans cried about, DJ Chark wasn't it. Who else did we have here? What's another wide receiver? Adam Thielen was old. He didn't have a running mate that can help him. I think DJ Chark is really a one-trick pony. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, we need to re-sign DJ Chark. Why? Why? I mean, like,
Right,
so
because
let's really be honest.
nobody else has done. He's still unrestricted free agent.
If you sign DJ Chark, that means you have to give him money, and then you can actually get one of these wide receivers in this class right now and be a rookie. Odell Beckham is still not signed. Michael Thomas is still not signed. There are veteran wide receivers out here that people are looking at. Why will I sign this particular wide receiver? And look how deep this class is. I do think this brings another asset to the offense where you do have another wide receiver that can possibly help Adam Thielen not be double teamed. Because again, if you double team Deontay Johnson, that means that leaves Adam Thielen open. Then you still have ISM, and then you have Jonathan Mingo on here. So I do think he can be a true number one. I'm not too worried about the attitude because again, Steve Smith was the same way. Carolina Panther fans do not talk about this. Steve Smith held his quarterbacks accountable when we brought in other wide receivers. He did it to Jake Malone, and he did it to Cam Newton. Unfortunately,
Right.
the rumors that Cam got Stevie, traded, that's here nor there. But again, nobody cried about it when we had an attitude, or you want to call them diva players like Steve Smith that was crying about the ball and throwing fits. You want that type of attitude in a room. You want that dog mentality that I know what I am. Give me the ball and let's go from it. So
this right here, DCAS and Mike Thomas and DB gonna be squabbling all off season. Hey, if y'all don't remember
that was
when
the end of the season.
DB went after Mike Thomas' ass at the end of the game, in the tunnel, and almost went to the Saints locker room to go after him.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't know if you want to create that kind of smoke in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I don't know if you want that. I don't know if you want that.
Is
But
Mike Thomas a free agent?
Yes.
Or was it?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he's a
Oh,
free agent.
gotcha.
But the thing with Mike Thomas is just like with OBJ right now. Is he past his prime? Has injuries robbed him of being the type of receiver that Mike Thomas once was when he first came into the league? He has been injured. He has been riddled with injuries for the past 2 to 3 years in New Orleans. So I wouldn't want to take on that kind of risk when I'm really trying to build up the wide receiver room. And because the wide receiver room is so deep in this draft, you can get wide receivers that can be productive. I'm not going to say they're going to come in and be wide receiver one or even wide receiver two, but they can be productive. So there's no need to reach for a veteran because he has an established name, but he
Facts.
also has an injury history that follows along with him.
Facts.
That's for OBJ and Michael Thomas. So I'm good to pause on either one of them. Definitely good to pause on either one of them.
Hey,
But with
James
Deontay
Allen,
Johnson,
go ahead. Go ahead. I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say James Allen Panther made my point. Why are we crying about it? And if he has an attitude but he produces, it's the reason why he's gonna have an attitude. Again,
Right.
I'm not mad at it. Again, as Panthers fans, we should remember Steve Smith was a headache. Let's just call it what it is. He was a headache,
Yeah.
but he produced as being that headache. So again, I think the reason why the media made this out to be where Deontay Johnson is because they had bad quarterback play, and the Pittsburgh Steelers were not the original Pittsburgh Steelers that they were supposed to be. Even underneath Mike Tomlin, he has not had a losing season. They didn't live up to that caliber that they were supposed to live up to. So that's the reason why he was getting so much backlash about his attitude. But again, when you have a new scenery and you're able, I think some players just need that. And again, if you look at the tape, I understand the drops and the attitude and etc. But when he's able to produce, he's one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah, but like I said, the only reason I put up there about his attitude is because of what has been publicly known for the past couple of years with his situation in Pittsburgh. I love that dog in him. I love, someone to be feisty and have the attitude. My only thing is your attitude is your feistiness going to be a negative or a positive in the locker room? Because you don't want that kind of negative energy. Not saying that he will bring it here, because I don't believe so. And like you said, and like CJ said before, a new scenery could be good for anybody. A new scenery could be good for anybody. And I'm going to go out on a limb and believe that Dan Morgan and Dave Canales, they did their research before they pulled the trigger to bring him in. Uh, with the opportunity to play with, to be in a better situation. Let's say that. So I just hope that everything works out positively for the Panthers. Okay. So that was my thing with Deontay Johnson. So number two, well, let me look at this. I forgot about this right here. So one of the knocks that was on Deontay Johnson was he drops a lot of balls. Okay. And so when you look at his one of his cons was focus drops. That was even a con of his coming out of Toledo when they talked about his strengths and weaknesses. Focus drops, not concentrating on bringing the ball in, because he has shorter arms. He doesn't have a great catch radius. But I think when you are a precise route runner and you have that elite footwork like he does, that can create separation, get open, you don't need to have as big of a catch radius as someone that's like a Keon Coleman that's going to be going after 50-50 balls majority of the time. So when I look at it at the bottom right here, you'll see 2023, he only had two drops in all of 2023. Now 2022, I think he had seven. I think 2022 was his worst productive year. He didn't have any touchdowns that year. If I'm not mistaken, that was Kenny Pickett's rookie season. So, I think they were running the ball a little bit more than usual. So, he had seven drops that year. 2021, he had six. 2020, he had 13. And 2019, he had six. So, up until last year, history has shown that he had the dropsies. If that's what you want, that's the word that you want to use. But last year, I'm just gonna go off of last year. Hey, it looks to me from my vantage point, looks like he cleaned that up. So hopefully that translates and that trickles over to what he's going to do in a Panther uniform. What you guys think about that?
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna do my best Tony impersonation here. We got 99 people watching, so y'all do us a big favor, hit that like button. Let's make sure we get stream to at least 100 likes. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Like us on all social media at Two Fans in the
Yes,
Stands.
sir.
And as what we have dubbed Twix, that's a mixture of Twitter and X. Okay, y'all can find us at Two Fans ITS, and we appreciate all the love and support. Go ahead, y'all.
Hey, don't forget about the little cousin channel either. What's up, Doug? I'm the little cousin. They the big cuz
Oh,
too, man.
I
I
apologize. I
miss.
apologize. Make sure y'all go to the third fan in the stand at What's Up, Doug. Okay, go check out his channel. Show him some love. Like, subscribe, content. Follow him on all social media at What's Up, Doug. My sincerest apologies,
You
third
know
fan.
I'm joking. Yay.
I'm going to mute myself now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we cutting up on this Saturday. It ain't really nothing to talk about his drops, man. Real quick, I know we're trying to go
yeah,
down to. If you look at his drops earlier in his season, earlier in his career, he had drops. If you combine his last 2 years, that is 9 drops, right? In
9.
2 years. In
Right.
2 years. Again, I also blame quarterback play, but I know what they mean by drops. They probably hit his hand and he dropped the ball. I'm not too concerned about it. I'm not. I'm not too concerned about his drop rate. Again, even with his drop rate, he still has been able to produce. So again, like I call him a separation guy.
Facts.
He's been in the top three for separation for over the last 5 years in the league. Even I think in Ben Roethlisberger's last year, he was still in the top five, top 10, even though they had a bad year in Big Ben's last year. But even with the quarterback play that he's been able to play through, he's still been top five in separation. So I love the sign and not worried about it. Let's continue to, continue and see what he can bring to it.
No, I agree. I agree. Like I said, I highlighted that because that was something that was spoken about negatively about him, about his focus drops and things like that, lack of a um attention, I guess, a lack of focus. And like you said, 2023, he only had 2 drops. So in my eyes, that's progression. You know what I'm saying? And what you just hope that you continue to see that progress going forward now that he's a member of the Carolina Panthers. So I'm
Mhm.
glad that he's here. I'm glad that we have another wide receiver to go alongside Adam Thielen. So therefore, you can't double team Adam Thielen all game, every game. So that's going to not only open up Adam Thielen, but other receivers that come in. Okay. So I think by having Deontay Johnson is definitely a plus for the Panthers. So I'm going to post this one comment by D Cash. He said, "Mofos love trying to discredit somebody for saying something. If he's seen potential mingle, so what? Most of y'all saying he was going to be AJ Brown, but Smitty the only one that's wrong." So I don't know if he was talking to us, somebody in
I'm
the
talking about
chat,
the fans in general.
but
Fans in general. Fans in general.
oh. Well, my comp for Jonathan Mingo when he came out was Anquan Bolden. I didn't even compare him, me personally. I didn't compare him to AJ Brown. I think that's too easy when people do that just for the simple fact they went to the same university, but their game is different. They same almost similar in size, but the game is different. I comped for me personally. I comped Jonathan Mingo to Anquan Bolden. That's who he reminds me of. All right. So let's see. So we're gonna go on to pick number 2, slide number 2. We're gonna talk about Adam Thielen, 6'2", 195 pounds, 2023, a 2013 undrafted free agent. I don't know why I have round 3. That was my mistake. But yes, he was an undrafted free agent out of Minnesota State. 2023 season stats: he had 103 receptions for 1,014 yards, 4 touchdowns, 9.8 average yards per catch. His pros is his route running, and he's a natural hands catcher. Cons, it will be his age and durability. I'm gonna start with the cons first. The reason why I put age because he is up there in age, and at this point, this time in your career, durability will creep into the conversation. He has been relatively healthy most of his career, so I hope he still has that going for him and will continue to do that. But like I said, at this age, you know, that's something that can be that needs to be talked about, and how much more production you can get out of Adam Thielen. But you guys, go ahead and give me a take on Adam Thielen. Go ahead, Doug.
34 years old. That's all I'll say. 34 years old. He cannot be your number one. He cannot be your number one going into second year. That's the reason why you make that trade for Deontay Jackson. Deontay Johnson trading Dante Jackson for absolutely nothing. Um, I also think, that is the question about getting a wide receiver in this draft. I know how Tony feels about the trenches, but there are names out there where you got Corley out of Western Kentucky. You have a Malachi Washington, who I'm very high on, that is a great separation guy out of Virginia. You got Rice Jr. I call him Rice Jr. I think his name is Braylon Rice out of USC. You also got his running mate out of USC, I think last name Washington. Then you have Jalen Polk out of Washington. There are options if everybody wants to get certain criteria where people are saying we need a wide receiver. You don't have to reach for a wide receiver. You do not have to reach for a wide receiver. These wide receivers are very, very deep. It just depends on how many receivers you want, the type of wide receiver that you want, and again, who you're talking to. We talked to Braylon. Am I saying his name right, Tony? Is it Braylon Rice? Braylon Rice?
Brendan Rice.
Brendan
Brendan.
Rice. Brendan Rice. We got Corley in for top 30 visit, and it's another wide receiver, I think. But again, as I said, we have to pay attention to these 30-day visits that we're bringing in for these wide receivers. But with Adam Thielen, he's up there in age. That's why I do think it is important for us to draft a wide receiver because again, if Deontay Johnson does not pan out, then and then you have an aging wide receiver that probably only has two more. Probably after this year has probably one more year. Then who's your two wide receivers on the roster? Jonathan Mingo, TMJ, and ISM. You have to do
Right.
something. You have to do something.
CJ.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I was trying to respond to somebody in the comments. I was gonna tell everybody. I see everybody's talking about Mingo. I was gonna say we're gonna get to Mingo here in a minute, but
Yeah.
I'm just hoping Adam Thielen has another good season. I'm hoping that him and Deontay Johnson can kind of complement each other. And there was a comment. Let me scroll back up here. Hold on. It was by Elevate Drone Solutions, and I was looking at, but I
Oh,
don't
that
think I
thousand. You
see
come
it.
out a
Oh,
thousand
here it is.
yards. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you think Deontay Johnson will have 1,000 yards? What would Thielen have, as he has someone else that the defense can focus on? Well, to be honest, um, I don't care who has 1,000 yards. Okay, I don't care if it's Thielen. I don't care if it's Johnson. But I'm hoping it can be a similar situation like Thielen had in Minnesota. If Deontay Johnson can come here and kind of take off and do what we think that he can do, okay, if he goes over 1,000 yards, maybe say Thielen gets close to 1,000 yards, but the offense as a whole, looks better. The ball is moving down the field, and hopefully, like what we brought Deontay Johnson in for, he's getting separation, and he's running those routes like we all think he can, or like what the tape has shown that he can. Okay, but me personally, I just need Adam Thielen to be Adam Thielen.
Right.
I don't need him to do anything different. Just go out there when he's open. Hey, catch the damn ball. That's all I need him to do.
Yeah, I agree. I'm an Adam Thielen fan, and like CJ, we did a video last year when um a lot of the conversation was going to be a lot of the conversation was about who was going to be wide receiver one, and at the time, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, they like DJ Chark." DJ Chark would be number one wide receiver, and I was like, "Well, what production has DJ Chark ever shown you that he was going to be a capable number one wide receiver?" So, it was always Adam Thielen for me. Why? Because the tape didn't lie. Production matters, and he has shown you consistently since he been in the league that he could be a number one wide receiver. And only reason he was a number one wide receiver the last 2 years in Minnesota is because they probably have arguably the best wide receiver in the game right now in Justin Jefferson. So there it is. Whoever came up with the fans in the Stamps team. I dig it. But yeah. So I listen, even in a year where the offensive play was down, quarterback play wasn't good, he was getting double teamed more often than not. The man still had 103 receptions and still gave you 1,000 yards. So that to me that says a lot about who he is as a wide receiver, as opposed to what he's not any longer. And I know somebody posted in the chat that Thielen is slow. Yeah, but when you say slow, what do you mean, JSN? Because I'm not saying he's a 4-3-5 guy like he once was when he first came into the league, but I think he still can. I think he can still move a little bit, and I think because the way that he run routes, the way that he knows how to set a DB up, whether he's stacking the DB or making him open his hips and you know dropping at the top of his route or whatever. I think he still can create enough separation and move a little bit after the catch. So I don't think he's that slow, but I get your point. I get your point. Anybody else got anything else about Adam Thielen?
No, sir.
All right. So we're gonna move on to Jonathan Mingo. 6'2", 225 pounds, 2023 second round pick number 8 out of Ole Miss. 2023 season stats, he had 43 receptions, 418 yards, 0 touchdowns, 9.7 yards per catch average. His pros is his size and strength and his run blocking. Drop that comment, CJ, so I can read the cons. And his cons, his separation and development. Fellas, what y'all think about Jonathan Mingo?
Hey, I just wanted to say the same way that we here at Two Fans in the
Hold on,
Stands in our
CJ.
third.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
CJ. Hey, Doug, if you type and mute your mic, man.
Oh, you can't hear me hitting the keys?
Yes,
My
yes, sir.
bad. My bad.
Just a
My
little
bad.
bit.
My bad, man. My
You
bad.
Go ahead,
good, Dub.
CJ.
But I was gonna say, like, here at Two Fans in the Stands and plus our third fan, Dub, um, we have been preaching that, with Bryce Young and all his struggles, give him some grace, give him a new year, new coach, new scheme, new players around him, see what happens. I think we should do the same thing with Mingo. Okay. He was in that
Right.
same bad offense with Bryce Young. He was in that same scheme with Bryce Young. And again, and this is just my opinion, because I've recently seen a lot of people, coming to Frank Wright's defense and saying that, this was like the first time in so many years that his offense has been, this bad with the players that he's had. And they're trying to say, well, maybe it's the players and not Frank Wright. But whatever the case may be, there's a new coach, there's a new offensive coordinator, there's a new scheme. We're gonna have new players around, so I think we should give Mingo some grace and just see what he can do this year. Because I don't think his tape was all bad. Now, mind you, we have been dubbed two Bryces in the stands over here. Because we everybody likes to say, we're Bryce sexuals and think that he can't do nothing wrong. That's not the case. But Mingo was open a few times last year down the field on some post routes, and Bryce Young just flat out missed him. Okay, so we gotta they gotta get together, and they've got to get their chemistry together. Go over this new playbook and get in sync with each other, and we'll see what they can do. But I just the same way we give Bryce some grace, I think we should give Mingo some too.
All right. Let me read the money real quick. Shout out to Nervash for the $5 super chat. Nervash, we'll greatly appreciate it. Nervash said, "Why do people want to keep drafting big wide receivers when every single one we draft in round two, besides Musim Muhammad, never works out?" That's a great point. You know what? I never thought of that, but Musim Muhammad is probably the last big body receiver that we drafted that has worked out for us. Everyone else never has really panned out. Devin Funches didn't pan out. Kelvin Benjamin didn't pan out.
He had one
Um,
good year.
yeah, he had one good year. The jury is still out on Jonathan Mingo, and that's something
Terrace
that I
Marshall.
wanted to uh yeah, Terrace Marshall, the jury is still out and well, for me, the jury is still out on Terrace Marshall because not only bad coaching, inconsistency in head coach, defense offense, different offensive philosophy each and every year. That I mean, I think once some stability is intact and the offense and the coaches that you building these relationships with are going to be there year in and year out. I think there's an opportunity to see better production from Terrace
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Jr. He wasn't a bad quarterback when he come out of high school. When he was in Shreveport, Louisiana, when he was the number one ranked wide receiver coming out of high school, and he damn sure wasn't a bad wide receiver at LSU. Even when he had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, when they left, and he was just there by himself. Even though he didn't play a full season, he still had some production. So I just want to see what he would do used right with the right coaching and some consistency at head coach.
Hey
But
Tony.
go ahead.
Hey, I want to interject one thing. I will say this too for everybody out there, and just like I've said with Bryce Young, I'll say the same thing for these receivers. They have to produce, and if they don't, we got to move on from 'em. Okay, I just want to make sure I throw that out there.
Yeah,
I'm just advocating that. And Terrence Marshall has definitely had his fair share of options, but he's been through three coaches. Okay, he's been through
right.
Rule. He's actually he's been through three: Rule, Wilkes, Frank Wright, and now we got Canales. Okay, but at the end of the day, I do think that this is more so of do or die season for some of these receivers than just say like Bryce Young, because I mean he was a rookie last year, the second year. More likely than not, he's going to be the quarterback next year, unless he has a major fall off from this past season, which me personally, I don't think he will. But I do think that if some of these receivers don't put up, or basically if they put, you got to put up or shut up. They might be
Right.
out the door next year. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah, real quick for Doug. Yeah, Drip. Dwayne Jarrett was another one. I forgot about Dwayne Jarrett.
I did too.
Yep. Go ahead, Doug.
I was typing as like I said, because I mean the chat, I mean, we can't get to everything in the chat, so I'm trying to respond while y'all were talking. For me,
Okay.
I think one person that nobody's putting on the front seat when you're talking about these wide receivers is our wide receivers coach. Our wide
Mm.
receivers coach was terrible. Um, Mingo looked very
Sean Jefferson.
unpolished. Huh?
Talking about Sean
Yeah.
Jefferson
Yes.
from
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
last year.
Yes. I mean, let's really look at it. He looked very unpolished, looked uncoachable, didn't really learn anything from college. And um it was more kind of questionable if you look at his route running. If you're in practice, you're supposed to make your route running. He rounded a lot of his routes. And that could be by habit because of him. But at the same time, that's where you have coaching. And I really think just like Camping, Jefferson was not a good coach as well on the staff. And I
Hmm.
just think it still does go on Mingo that you still have to learn um, the NFL, learn the spring of the NFL. But again, how
Hold,
can we really? How can we?
hold, hold, hold that thought, real. Hold that thought for a second. I just want to address this. Fair, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, "I'm just going to start watching these shows until there's a show that doesn't blame Bryce for rain outside." We don't blame
He ain't,
Bryce
he ain't talking
for
about y'all. He
uh,
talking about these other ones.
huh?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right. My
Yeah, my
bad,
my,
Fair,
my
no.
bad. Hey, because I was
Yeah,
gonna be like, Dad, Fed, now we got to talk, player. Like we agree. We
yeah.
we,
Cause
we on your
we
side.
don't even get down like that. But okay, all right, cool. Go ahead, Doug.
No,
Go
I
ahead,
mean
CJ.
it's just I think coaching didn't help him, and I think a lot of people are saying with Bryce. I mean it's really coaching that can make or break a player because either you perfect your craft, but then you also need coaching to help. Like I'll give an example
Right.
with Ike Kwanu. Ike had a good rookie year. Then what happened his second year? His coach didn't help him progress. Correct. So now you look at is Ike supposed to be putting in work? Now let's see how he works with one of the top offensive line coaches. Yes, Campbell was a top offensive line coach, but we know what he was doing. He wasn't doing his coaching job. He was running and being the snitch for the organization. So what I'm saying is,
Mm.
I really want to see a coach that can put their hands on Jonathan Mingo, and let's see what Mingo looks here starting next week. And what I mean by next week is, no, they can't be on the field, but just body type. You can really tell somebody's put in work based off how their body looks. Already been hearing that they said Bryce
Right.
was a lot bigger. That is a great thing because even though Bryce can take a hit, he needed to put more muscle on that frame with it being so small. So I'm really just looking forward to seeing. It's not going to take a season. We'll know Jonathan Mingo has regressed or progress in OTAs. You will know.
Facts.
So we don't have to
Facts.
wait till week one. We don't even wait till what you call it till mini camps or anything. We will know from the jump. So that's what I'm really ready to see, man.
Yeah. And I wanted to point out something else because when mentioned his height and weight, 6'2", 225, because a lot of people in Panther Nation, for whatever reason, keep saying that we need a big body receiver. We need somebody that can make contested catches, or that is a red zone target, or we need a big body receiver, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, one, what is your definition of a big body receiver? Because we do have them on the team. Now they all didn't play or have great opportunities last year, but we will go to a slide in a minute where it shows all the receivers that are currently on the roster. Jonathan Mingo is not a slouch. And Terrace Marshall, I don't care what anybody says, not 200 pounds. Terrace Marshall is at least 210, 215, and at least 6'3". Now, I know what it says in his bio, but you can't take 6'2", 200 and put him beside Adam Thielen, who they say is 6'2", 195, and tell me they the same. There's a difference. I, for me personally, when it comes to wide receivers, if you're going to build around Bryce and you're going to build and play to Bryce's strength, Bryce is not deep ball thrower. He doesn't have an arm like a Jonathan Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Trevor Lawrence. These guys that, or even CJ Stroud. Okay, but what he can do, he throws with anticipation. He has accuracy. He can scramble, get outside the pocket. You know, when the play breaks down and make things happen. So he needs guys that can create separation, that are natural hands catchers, things of that nature. Not, you don't necessarily have to have a big body in order to do those things. When you look at on LeBlanc, what what the hell is LeBlanco juice? Lebaco juice. Okay,
I don't know.
still don't know what it is. Yeah, JSN, you got to tell us what the Lebaco juice is. That sounds like something I do not want. But yeah, man, I just when I hear that, I'm like, big body receivers don't necessarily pan out to be a productive wide receiver. Most wide receivers that you see in the league are at least about 200, 205, and maybe a little smaller. Jamar Chase, yeah, he's like 215, 220, but Justin Jefferson is about 200, 205. Um, who else? Devontae Smith is small. Yeah, AJ Brown is up there. Um,
Yeah,
what's your boy
Robbie,
in
but
Seattle?
Robbie, I'll say the old Robbie, not the Robbie that came to Carolina. Robbie was a small wide receiver. Deshante, I
Yeah,
mean, let me see. Is it D-Jet from Philly? Is his name Deshaun Jackson?
Deshaun
Yeah,
Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson was small too. But can I make this point with the stat? Because I see a lot of people are going back and forth. One thing that we had wrong, Scott Fitterer brought in the wrong people. That's why he was fired. He brought in the wrong free agents. Then number two, it was
Yeah,
the Hunger Games for the coaching staff. You had one coaching staff on this side of the family and another coaching staff on the other side of the family, meaning that they were battling. Whenever you're going
right.
into draft day and you still don't know who you're going to draft, and then your head coach and quarterbacks coach wanted CJ Stroud, but then your offensive line coach and wide receivers coach wanted Bryce Young, that's causing friction in your upstairs. So if you're already having friction along your coaching staff, how can you really blame players when they're not on one accord. One thing that Dan Morgan and Dave Canales had preached was alignment. They brought alignment and assignment. And they brought in coaches that they know they're going to be on the same line. We're not going to have anybody reporting to Dan Morgan or reporting to David Temper because everybody's on one accord. And I understand where people are saying some of these coaches were from Tampa. Tampa didn't have a good running game, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I understand that. But Dave Canales is going to be able to run his system and do his own thing. He doesn't have to answer to nobody. So I'm
That's
looking at it
facts.
as I think this year we need to give it a true opportunity and really reevaluate the roster. We know Dan Morgan has looked at his roster because think about it. He let D-Jet go. He let Frankie Louvu go. He let YGM go. He let Von Bell go. Who else did he let go? I'm forgetting somebody else on that back end. I can't think.
I think that was it.
That's it.
Von Bell is gone. Jeremy Chin is gone.
Jeremy Chin, there it is. Jeremy Chin, thank you. Jeremy Chin.
Yeah.
So then if you look at all these other offensive pieces that he let walk, I mean, I'm not too worried because you have a true evaluator, a player that played the game, a player that has been phenomenal at every position that he's been at or organization. So again, he knows what's going to happen. And again, it's going to be a short leash. Just look at it. He didn't pay Brian Burns because Brian Burns wanted to get paid. He let him walk. So we don't have to worry about the evaluation period thing. And I see Unc in the chat. What's going on, Unc? Yeah.
What up,
What's going on, Unc? What's good, my guy? So that's all. That's everybody got their take on Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, hey
All
Tony,
right.
hold on. I did want to go back to this one comment. Panthers,
Yeah.
Atlanta, Vegas. He said hypothetically, would you trade our 39th pick, J.C. Horn, in our first next year for the first overall pick to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? Man, let me tell you, could you imagine this happening? And then J.C. Horn goes to whoever has the fourth pick. I don't know. Is it
It's Arizona. Arizona.
Arizona.
Could you
Arizona.
imagine J.C. Horn going out there and balling, and then Marvin Harrison, gets hurt or something? And I'm not wishing on anybody. I'm just saying, like you said, hypothetically. Man, this would be 2 years in a row. I think we good.
Yeah. I definitely don't see that happening. I definitely wouldn't want that to happen. And if you listen to anything that Dan Morgan has said, he has truly led me to believe that he wants to do the opposite of what has been done in the past. He believes in building through the draft, and he believes that Carolina is not in a position to be giving draft capital away. You can't build in the draft when you're giving your draft capital away. Like those two things don't even out. You know what I mean? So if anything, I could see us um trading back. I think we would take the 33rd pick and draft a player unless one of these top quarterbacks that they are considering first round talents. Now if the phone start ringing and somebody trying to give you a king's ransom to come up for that 33rd pick and you can drop back and get 3 or 4 future picks, I would do that because you still got 39. Okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, I see us taking whoever we draft at 33, 39 may be a possibility to draft back and pick up an extra draft pick or two. But that 33rd pick, that's gonna be a topic of conversation come the second day of the draft, really at the end of the first round, because there's gonna be a lot of speculations as to who's not going to go in the remaining 10 picks, and it's already going to set up what's going to happen um in the day 2 of the draft. And so that's when
Facts.
Carolina phone is going to start ringing immediately after the first round. So I'm anxious to see what happens.
Hey,
Definitely anxious to see
Tony.
what happens.
Hey, look, if they did do that scenario, could you imagine the conversation between Unc and Howard over there on 2020?
Nope. But I
Boy,
tell you what, I'm gonna
hey,
be in the comments like I always am, just sipping on a little
boy.
juice. Hey, and I'm just here. I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's all.
Hey, let me
That's
tell you,
all I'm
boy,
gonna do.
they have to reel Howard back in over there.
Yeah. All
Oh goodness, man! Shout out, dog, man.
right. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go to the third pick. So right now, this is the current wide receivers that we have on the Panthers roster. There's 9 current wide receivers that's on the roster, including the practice squad. And the ones that I have highlighted in green, that is my opinion right now, as the roster sits today. Those are the top 3 wide receivers on the board: Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo, and Adam Thielen. I did a little research on Jalen Camp, 6'2", 220 pounds, and Cam Sims, 6'5", 214 out of Alabama. Cam Sims had been in the league for about 5 or 6 years. But Jalen Camp, uh, kind of remember him a little bit coming out of Georgia Tech. They thought he was going to be like another Calvin Johnson type receiver because he was like a workout warrior during his pro day. I think he put like 30 reps on the bench press and ran like a 4.43 40, but he's still raw when it comes to his football skills, route running, creating separation, things of that nature, focusing, on the catch. We trying to becoming more of a hands catcher instead of a body catcher. So I think there's a lot of refinement that needs to be done to his game. Also with Cam Sims. David Moore is an interesting wide receiver. And I say that because I love David Moore when we took him the first time in free agency when he left Seattle. He did good things in Seattle as being a wide receiver 3 behind Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out when he first came to Carolina. I don't even think he even made it through the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. So then he ends up, I think he went back to Seattle and then he ended up in Tampa. But Dave Canales was his wide receiver coach in Seattle. He had an okay year last year, not very productive, but okay. But he's someone that knows the system. Again, he's also a big body receiver at 6 feet, 220. So someone that knows the system, that has some experience in the league, that can definitely provide some depth, and that could possibly be your wide receiver 4 as the roster currently stands right now. So, guys, y'all tell me, currently looking at the roster as it stands right now, how do you feel about the roster? Do you think that 1 or 2 wide receivers need to be added? And who do you think may or may not be here come training camp? Oh, and let me mention Michael Strahan too. I know I probably didn't say his last name right, but anyway, he was the wide receiver that followed Frank Wright from Indianapolis. Big
Correct.
big body guy. He made a couple good catches last year, and then pum, you ain't see no more of him. You know what I mean? But he's 6'5", 225, and got decent speed. But you guys go ahead and tell me what y'all think about this current roster and what should we do going forward.
I see a lot of camp bodies. Just being honest, a lot of camp bodies. We don't know how
Okay.
the Heat's going to be different in Charlotte. They're not going to be a Spartanburg this year. Um, it's a lot of camp bodies, and I still do think, depending on how the board is, you do best player available. Meaning, for all the holes that we still, you have the center, you have the center slash guard position. If a guard can play center, wide receiver still, tight end, DN, linebacker, and corner. Just depends on how the board falls. And me personally, I told Tony this yesterday. You got 9 here right now. I would not be surprised if there's 11 after April 28th. I would not be surprised if there's 11 bodies on this roster. And the more bodies, the better it is. And I know David Moore did have camaraderie with our head coach and now the wide receivers slash offensive head coach and Ike. It is what it is. I'm not mad at it. This roster is a lot better than it was last year. Some of these players are holdovers because, again, they are camp bodies. You have injuries and you need players to see what they can do. For me, I think DJ is definitely on the roster. Jonathan Mingo's on the roster. ISM is on the roster. Adam Thielen's on the roster. I'll say it'll probably be a competition really between Terrence Marshall Jr. and David Moore. And then again, if you draft that rookie, we'll see where it goes from.
Okay. CJ?
Hey, I'm going to say this, okay? Now, I'm going to agree with Doug. Johnson, Mingo, Thielen, Smith, Marset, okay? Probably David Moore, too. He was brought in. He knows the system from Tampa, okay? Um, I agree with Doug. I think it's a lot of camp bodies, okay? Um, I think it just depends on what the coaching staff feels like is the missing piece in this wide receiver room as far as the skill set. Okay, when I say that, you've got route runners and possession receivers in Thielen and Johnson. Okay, you've got a
Right.
potential burner in Emir Smith Marset. And we also seen what he can do out of the backfield. Example like the reverse he took for a touchdown. I forgot who we were playing that game. Um, but things like that. You got Mingo who can, potentially be that big body wide receiver to go up for contested catches. Hell, I'll even say Terrence Marshall Jr. too. And I saw somebody in the chat say that he is going to be gone. He won't make the 53-man roster. Now, if that does happen, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he was kept on the 53-man roster as well. So to me
Right.
is what do they feel like they need to add to that wide receiver room? Is there a certain skill set that they believe is missing, or do they want to bring somebody in as just straight competition? They got somebody that they want to make sure that they push and get the best out of them. It's like, okay, we got this player here. You need to step your game up, or either that or you're going to be out the door. So that's my thought on the wide.
No.
Now, I will say this. If this was what we had, okay, like just say this was our wide receiver room, and we were 100% sure that there was no way we were going to draft a wide receiver, I do think this room as is capable. Okay, I'm not saying that they're going to go out and dazzle everybody, but I think this wide receiver room with a steady run game is capable. Like I said,
Hey, you know what, Rock? I'm not going to disagree with that. I got no qualms about that. Hey, listen, my element is playing second chair, my guy. This is CJ domain right here. So hey, I ain't even mad at you, dog. Go ahead.
hey,
I'm trying to do the best I can, man.
hey, appreciate you, Rock Jones. Man, I appreciate it. But yeah, man, like I said, I think this wide receiver room is capable. Okay. And I say that because in 2015, we had a wide receiver room of Philly Brown, Ted Ginn, Bible Boy Jericho Cotry. Who was the
Devin
other? I'm missing a
Funches.
couple.
Devin
Devin
Funches.
Funches. Okay. And they all played their part and took us all the way to the Super Bowl. Okay. And,
Right.
and, and let me say this. I'm not saying this group is going to take us all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, if this is what we had, I think it's capable. Like I said, with the right coaching, right scheme, they put players in the right positions to do what they're best at. We can make some shake with this. But yeah, but I do think there'll be a wide receiver drafted. It's just, will the missing piece that I think that they want will be there, or would they just have to go like best player available at wide receiver if they feel like that's who they need to take at that spot? So that's my spiel on it.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you and Doug. And just Zoe said I would be completely disgusted if we went to the season with this as our wide receiver room. In 2015, we had a unicorn at quarterback. You know
I
what?
feel you.
I
I
didn't.
agree. I
I
feel you.
I have to. I get ready to say the same thing. I
Hmm.
completely agree with you on that. But outside of those top three that we have, that I have highlighted in green, and maybe Terrace Marshall Jr. 'Cause I'm still a believer in him that he can get it right. I still believe that you need to bring in more competition. And like Doug said,
Facts.
there's more camp bodies on this roster than guys that will probably be on the 53 roster or even make the team. So when we talk about having a better wide receiver room, we definitely need to bring in wide receivers. So I guess that's why the question is so heated and so debatable the past couple weeks. Do we take a
Hmm.
wide receiver with that first pick at 33 or the second pick at 39? Or do we even take a wide receiver at both picks? I don't think we need to take a wide receiver at both picks because there are other positions that we need. There are other positions of need that we need to fill the hole in, especially at center, especially at cornerback, linebacker, potentially defensive end. There's a number of other holes that we can look at to fill other than wide receiver. But I do believe that we should draft a wide receiver. Now, where in the draft, whether it's the second round, the third round, or fourth, I don't know. But I know the wide receiver room is so deep that most analysts are saying that you can find a quality starter in the third or fourth round. So if that's the case, when I hear that, I think why reach in the second round when you got other needs to be filled and you can still get a quality starter or contributor in the third or fourth round. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that.
Go ahead, Doug.
I mean, again, for me, we've done a lot of mocks over at What's Up, Doug. You guys joined them. You guys know how I feel about the wide receivers. Is nothing against the men on this particular screen. It's just I'm gonna ask this, and I can answer it. Then I want to see what you guys say. Who do we really have as separation on this roster? What was the one thing?
Deontay John,
Go ahead.
Deontay Johnson, Deontay Johnson, and Adam Thielen.
And ISM. A lot of people remember ISM. ISM was not utilized as a proper wide receiver where he was supposed to be utilized as. We used him as a trick pony, a trick play. We see how elusive he is. Another player that you look at too, Blackshear. Again, you have players on this roster that they were not utilized or they were not in the right system. I really think ISM is going to surprise a lot of people. If you follow ISM on social media, him and Bryce Young have been working all off season with each other, all off season.
Yes, they
So
have.
again, for me, I'm really looking at it as um, we need separation, people. Height doesn't mean anything. If you can't separate from that line of scrimmage, your body type, your size, and your height doesn't mean anything. Like you just said, Tony, DJ can definitely do it. Adam Thielen, in his age, he can still get separation and
Hmm.
get you a look. ISM, like I said, I think with his speed, and if you look at it, he was the leading wide receiver in the preseason before we traded for him. Um, Again, other than that, Jonathan Mingo didn't do a good job. Again,
But
uh, hmm,
now I'm gonna say my only pushback about ISM is, and I hear what you're saying, and I'm always of the mindset that when we get players in, I hope that their production is better with us than it was with their previous team. But I also have to look at it and be fair and say, well, when ISM was in Kansas City, what did he do in Kansas City, or what did he show in Kansas City to lead you to believe that he can be a quality two, a quality wide receiver three for Carolina? Because the same thing that we utilized him for last year in Carolina, it's the same thing that he did in Kansas City. Yes, he had a breakout year in the preseason, but we're talking about regular season when it all matters. He didn't really do anything different in Carolina last year than he did in Kansas City.
did he get opportunity? That's all I'm gonna ask, Tony. Did he get opportunity?
but opportunity
That's
comes
all.
from
I
what
mean,
do
yes
you
or no? Did
show?
he get opportunity? Did he really get opportunity
Yes,
to play wide receiver? Okay.
yes, yes. Now, here's why I say yes, because what you show in practice dictates what your opportunity will be come game day, right or wrong.
Okay, now you're correct on that, but
No,
again, they utilize him
Game
as a special
experience.
teamer. That is a correct statement, but they only utilize him as a special teamer. And at the end of the season, when they had him in, what was he doing? He was doing wraparounds because of his speed. They never threw him the ball. Never threw him the ball.
but all I'm saying is there has to be a reason why. In my for me to believe that he would have been a productive wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, I believe that if he showed that in practice throughout the week, they would have utilized him. Not just me.
I
I'm just
never said
saying.
it too. I never said it too. I just said ISM was not utilized. I would put him as a 3. What do you say? Okay, I'll read
Okay,
it.
three.
Hold on. I'll read it. CJ, this season offensively would be a true measuring stick of if it was the scheme or the quarterback. TMJ before Bryce showed promise in the season before. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Well.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just kind of highlight. I ain't want you to shut up though.
Oh no. I mean, because again, I know no. I really think it's a mixed bag. Like when you get fruit, you have good pieces of fruit in there, and you got pieces that's sour. Does it make the
Facts.
whole bad? No. But
Right.
what do you mainly do when you get a bag of grapes? You see a grape that's probably bad. What do? You take it out, throw it in the
Take
trash,
it
you
out.
still eat those grapes. What I'm saying is,
Hmm.
Mhm.
based off this coaching staff, again, I made a point in the chat. You have your head coach that was a wide receivers coach. You have your offensive coordinator that's off wide receivers coach, and now you have position coach that's a wide receivers coach. You have a group of men that are on this roster or on this coaching staff that were wide receivers coaches. They know what they're looking for. And again, come Monday, when they step in that building, they're going to know from the jump what they need to do. And what I love about that is you're going to know everybody's health. You're going to know what everybody's physique is and what they possibly look different beforehand.
Okay.
Facts.
CJ.
No, I ain't gonna lie, Tony. I was replying in the chat. Y'all go ahead.
Oh. Okay. All right. All right. Well, look, man. Hey, I tell you what. When the draft do come around, April 25th through the 27th, I believe it's in with Detroit this year. Correct.
Hmm.
There's gonna be a lot of intrigue when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. Um, I don't want to say Dan Morgan is on the clock, but there's going to be a lot of pressure. There is a lot of pressure on Dan Morgan to hit on these draft picks in the draft because we have had a history of only hitting on first round, maybe second round draft picks, and everything else have been just like a waste of talent, a waste of draft picks. So I'm definitely anxious to see what he do in the draft room come draft day. Um Again, there's 92 people in the chat, 15, 16 people watching on Twix, only 59 likes. Before we get out of here, before you leave, would you please hit that like button, subscribe, turn the post notification bell so you'll be alerted for whenever we drop new content or go live. We'll greatly appreciate you. All right. Was there any comments that we need to go over, CJ?
Now I think we all caught up on them.
All right. Okay. Well, okay, fellas. That will be the end of our live. Doug, you want to say anything before we get out of here so people know where to reach you at? Doug, you got the
Oh,
mic
yeah,
muted.
I definitely appreciate my big cousins having me on this Saturday to break down some Panther content, talk about our current roster room for the wide receivers. Definitely appreciate them coming up on Thursday. If you guys missed our mock draft, Tony was able to show up. CJ was in the chat for us, still representing the full whole Two Fans in the Stands. If you want to go back and look at that live, I definitely appreciate it. Again, if you would like to find me, definitely click either on my name in the chat and head over to What's Up, Doug. Again, CJ and Tony are my big cousins. They definitely be on the channel. We definitely do some great content. Again, it is What's Up, Doug, WASSUP space DOUG. We will be going live here on the 18th. I will have the big cousins back over there. We'll be doing one last final mock draft before the before the draft the following Thursday. So again, I definitely appreciate it if you guys head over there. Let me know if you like the content, if it's terrible, if it's trash, or you enjoy it, man. So I definitely appreciate them always letting me come up and be a part of Two Fans in the Stands and being the honorable third fan in the stand, man. As always.
CJ,
Yes,
you got anything for him before we get out of here?
Hey, let me tell you, I'm gonna put this comment back up. Hey, Rock Jones, hear me when I say this, cuz I hope they beat the brakes off of Iowa. I hope they beat them so bad they retire their whole program and never step foot on the court again.
Damn.
I'm with you all the way, dog. All the way.
Yeah, they
I
on a
hope Don
mission.
Staley and them just
They on a
run them
mission.
right out of the arena.
They on a mission.
Hey man,
Yeah.
they definitely on a mission. I can't wait till tomorrow night. Let me just say that.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot
But
wait
yeah,
till
man.
tomorrow night.
But other than that, hey, let me tell you, I'm glad I'm glad it's cold outside. You know, I got the opportunity to get back on here with y'all today. As always, thank you, Doug. I appreciate you coming on, helping us out. You always there for us when we need you playing, and we definitely return the favor. And yeah, but just as usual, everybody that's in the chat, if y'all new here, please subscribe to the channel, turn those post notification bells, give us a like the stream before you head out the door, follow us on all social media, and we appreciate y'all.
All right,
hey,
all right.
Hold on, Tony. Read,
hold on, wait.
Read. I want Tony to read it. Tony, read
MDJ.
Tony.
Tony, you have 4 assists and 2 turnovers a day at point guard. You had a flagrant foul with that shot at CW. Now chill out.
Hey,
damn.
MDJ, man. Hey, let me tell you, you got an open
Those numbers
invitation,
ain't
man.
good.
When we drop that link, I need you to pull up next time, dog.
Hey, dog, I tried, man.
Wow.
Hey, I tried, dog.
Hey, that's a Draymond Green type game right there. With that flagrant foul.
Yeah, 4 assists and 2 turnovers. Oh
hey,
my God.
2 to 1 assist to turnover ratio ain't bad though. There ain't nothing to sneeze at. I'm just saying. In my defense, 2 to 1 ratio ain't bad. I take that. I take
that is hilarious.
But hey, like my cousin always say, man, we're gonna take you out. Hey, be good, be blessed, stay safe, and keep pounding.
Yes, sir.
See.